Oh, hello. Happy Monday. Holy moly. It's been a long time since I've come on here and just chatted with you guys, shared some thoughts. I have been in such an interesting place in my business and my life where there has been a lot of change. There's been a lot of change, especially personally. If you may or may not know, but my husband owned a cookie shop. We own this cookie shop and we decided to close it down. And so there's been a lot of grief, but that's also brought on a lot more freedom. And there has just been so many things happening over here behind the scenes. And it feels like on this first day of August, I am so full of excitement and so full of like possibility. And I was thinking about something that I wanted to come on and share today, and a message that I thought would be really powerful for anybody, regardless of where you are in life or in business, is just about one big shift that has changed everything dramatically for me in my business and my life, for me to be able to create what I've created and become everything that really I am now. And it's all about us not swinging from extremes. We as people, as humans, we love extremes. We love to go all in on something. We love to crash and burn. We love to burn ourselves out without knowing. And the thing that we have to recognize here is there's so much that is attractive in that. There is so much, especially when it comes to business, that is like, yes, if you commit and you go all in and you're consistent and you show up every single day and you do the things, then things will happen. And while I kind of agree with this in a lot of different ways, it's like most things. Well, it depends. It depends on how you're showing up. It depends on the reasons why you're showing up. It depends on what your intentions are behind showing up. And it depends on who you're being when you do show up. And so the shift that I believe and I have seen in my life that can dramatically change the trajectory of your business and of your life is to stop seeking those extremes and to recognize when you are practicing in a place of being extreme. Most of us call this the all or nothing mindset, and we've all been there. I've been there many, many times. Like most things, I really bring, like, the majority of my experience is from places that I've fallen and places that I've failed, and me being able to get back up again and bring a lesson to you here. And that's really what this platform has been for me in the like 10 years that I've been on Instagram at this point. So instead of seeking extremes, instead of swinging from the all in to the crash and burn, what I invite you into is a new way of living and a new way of being that actually helps you with living your best life, experiencing your life differently, and being able to actually know and honor your being as a human first, while also still being able to be consistent with whatever your goals are. Because that's the problem. The reason why we love extremes so much is that we love a plan. We love strategic action. As women especially, we have been so conditioned that action is the answer, which action is the answer, but action and the masculine without the feminine is nothing. And so I'm watching and kind of witnessing all of these things happen, you know, being in coaching for 11 years now, watching people come and go, watching the different trends and ups and downs of things. But really, what I see is that whenever you swing to an extreme, right? Maybe that extreme is like, okay, I need to run a feminine-based business. And you lose all the strategy, you lose the strategic steps, you stop thinking about the structure that is required to hold that femininity. Or maybe you swing for most of us women and the women in my world, we're so used to that masculine energy. We're so used to the all in, the consistency, the resilience. I know this, and this is me so much to a T. But really, the power is in the gray area. And this is what I've found, and this is the shift that I want you to make today, is to start looking at the different areas of your life and finding the gray area. Because there is no health and sustainability and longevity in extremes. And for so long, we've prioritized quicker, faster, bigger. And now we're coming to this place to where we see the importance of sustainability, where people are coming around and they're saying, hey, instead of shooting for that really big launch and hitting that really big number one time, what if you could extend that period and make your business feel better and hit the higher income months, but hit them consistently without burning out? That's the goal. And so I've been kind of leaning back in this observation, almost like talking about sustainability and how sexy sustainability is, and how, that's really where it's at. Because as much as we want to move faster and we want to do all the things, it's because we envision that if we do all the things, if we prioritize, if we go all in and we tell ourselves, I'm going to commit to this goal and I'm going to reach this goal and I'm going to do everything that I can to get there, it makes us motivated. It makes us, we feel momentum, we feel purpose. But what happens is the sustainability is being forgotten. We're not considering the reality of the human experience, which is that things move up and down. Things move back and forth. And so instead, people are swinging from one extreme to another. I see people that will go all in and maybe launch something new and be so excited one week and then be so determined to do whatever it is to reach the goal that they've set. And then all of a sudden they're so burnt out because they've swung into that extreme that they now are swinging into the other extreme, to where we're completely laid back, completely hands off, and not working towards what we actually want to work towards. So there is a middle ground. And that's the important message that I have for you today, is regardless of where you are in your life and your business, it's time to challenge the way that you have been achieving. It's time to challenge and look at how have you been in your life proceeding forward. Are you somebody who's full on, full powered, and then you pull back and then you fall down and you crash and you burn? Or are you somebody that can ride the waves, that can be in those high energy moments, but also softly land? Because there is a difference. In the middle ground here, in this gray area that we're talking about today, this shift that I'm encouraging you to make, this gray area is where the waves are. And I'm not saying that that sustainability and longevity and prioritizing these things will be a flat line, will be a linear process, because that's not life and that's not the human experience. But what I am saying is that if you stop seeking extremes, if you stop looking at just the momentary, the immediate instant gratification things, and instead you start looking further ahead, is that what is great for me right now, and how does that propel me? How does that look a year from now? Can I continue on this path? As someone who's been in this industry for a really long time, it is heartbreaking to me to see how many people have risen so quickly only to fall because they didn't consider the long term of their actions. And so when you make a commitment, when you set a goal, I want you to think about the power of the gray area. I want you to think about shifting from a person who only sees that instant gratification, who only sees, can I commit to 14 days of this? Can I do this for 30 days? And I want you to start pushing that further of like, what do I want to create in the big picture, my zoomed out perspective, and how can I achieve today to step towards that without burning myself out, without running myself into the ground. When it comes to creating success in your business, I talk about this so often. The real key to success is to be able to stay around, to be able to stick around. And that is why it's so heartbreaking for me to see these people with incredible gifts not being recognized and not getting the visibility they want and not creating the impact that they set out to create when they started their businesses. That breaks my heart, because then people get discouraged and then people quit. And when you quit, you are back in that shell of yourself and you are not executing on the possibility of what could be. But if you stay as much as you can in this gray area, if you start to look at things differently from how can I take a little bit from this extreme and a little bit from this extreme and meet myself in the middle. This is something that I've talked about for a really long time, and we see it. I saw it as a fitness coach. I've seen it as a life and business coach, to where we swing and we're excited, motivated, momentum, we're moving, we're going. And then all of a sudden we realize we've gone too hard, and then we fall back. And then how long are you in that position of feeling stuck, of feeling defeated, of feeling like I just did all this work and it didn't work and it didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to? But if we take pieces from this, and if we know that as humans, our businesses need to be reflective of the human experience, then the question becomes, how can I honor the human experience within my business? How can I find the gray area? How can I take two opposite sides and bring from each of them so that I can sustain? Because the key to success is sustaining. You're not making any money if you go hard for a year, 2 years, 3 years, rise to the top, and then fall and quit. But what if you know that right now what you're doing, what you've committed your life to with your business and bringing to life what you desired from the beginning, what if you knew, I'm going to do this forever? How would you treat it? So I'm inviting you to look at different areas of your life, not just your business, and think about when you've been in a period of an extreme, right? Maybe it's health and fitness. You know, so many people, there's 30-day challenges, 14-day challenges, eliminate this and don't do this and only do this. And it's like, it never lasts. It never lasts. People go on these crazy diets and then they gain all the weight back or whatever the goal was, because it's not sustainable. So we know that about other areas, and we need to start applying that to our business. And that's why I've been shouting from the rooftops, sustainability is sexy, y'all. When you are so committed to living your life and having a business that supports that, when you are committed to more growth, bigger, better, more money, more impact, more freedom, more, with presence, peace, contentment, that is the magic sauce. That is the gray area. That is what I want for you. That is what I want for all of my clients, to where we are going to find that gray area. Because it's easy to swing from extremes, because that's what people know. But the shift here for you today is to find that gray area, to use your experiences from the extremes that you've been in, and then take from those experiences, okay, here's what I know. In my business, I have gone to the extreme of overly structuring, creating too many to-dos, being in my masculine, sitting for my desk for too many hours because it's how I felt I was valued for my productivity. You know, putting too many appointments on my calendar, so I'm ignoring my family. Only committing to things that are generating me money, saying no to excitement and things that were not contributing to business, disregarding my mental and my physical health so that I could grow my business. That is the extreme that I have watched, that I have witnessed so many women travel through. Complete and 100% devotion to their business at the expense of their lives and themselves. That is an extreme. And on the other side of the extreme, I have watched people who have maybe been in that previous extreme crash and burn and be trying to trudge like walking in quicksand while dealing with burnout, while suffering physical and mental breakdowns because they haven't taken care of themselves. And then if you don't rest, if you don't recover, if you don't have balance, you will crash and burn, and then your body will make the choice for you to shut down. So the other extreme of this in business is that you are completely laid back. You stop showing up, you stop using your voice, you stop selling, you're doubting yourself, you're like, I did all the work, it didn't work, and I'm just gonna lean back and it's whatever. And we've put this in a really pretty little box with a bow and called it surrender or release or letting go. And that's not actually what it is. Surrender and letting go does not mean that you're letting go of your dreams, of what's possible for you. That is another extreme. When you let go and you stop acting, you stop moving, whether it's with your energy or with your body, that is also an extreme. So the shift here, again, for you today is, what is the gray area? Your sustainability, your longevity, your success, the things that you desire are in the gray area. And this can be broken down into such a small things. Maybe this is social media for you. Maybe your gray area is posting 3 times a week instead of 6. You're allowed, and this is your permission, to play, to shift into this gray area, to stop seeking instant gratification, to choose sustainability and longevity over quickness, over fast results that don't last. Because what this really is, if you want me to be honest with you, is it's like chasing a high. It's an endorphin rush. When you get excited about a new idea in your business and you bring it to life and you launch it and you're on fire and you feel so good. And then you're constantly chasing that high. To where contentment is something that makes you feel uneasy. It makes you feel like you're not doing enough. And so it's time for you to find this gray area for your life and for your business. It's time for you to look at how you're treating your vessel. Are you honoring your vessel? I've been in the extremes with honoring my body, competing, dieting. It's like, I won a Figure Pro card for what? So I could miss experiences and miss out on food that I love to eat? It wasn't worth it. But I take from that experience the knowledge that I gained around nutrition. Right? So how can you take in your business, in the times to where you felt that momentum, that excitement, how can you take that and match it with rest and recovery? And how can you better learn to ride the waves that are inside the gray area? Because that is where you'll find your happiness. That is where you'll find your peace. When you have days to where maybe you only do a couple things for your business and that's enough and you don't feel guilty. And then you have days to where you're so excited that you might work 5 hours without even looking up from your screen because you're so excited about what you're bringing to life. And both are okay. But it is only when we are one or the other, when you are constantly in an extreme, that you are setting yourself up to fail. And if you are anything like me, you didn't start your business to fail. You started your business to create change, to create an impact. You started your business as your career, as your work, to create your legacy. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at the different areas of your life. I want you to look in the small areas and in the big areas. I want you to look at your business. I want you to look at your health. I want you to look at your relationships. And I want you to start being aware of when you're swinging into an extreme. And how can you dilute that extreme a little bit to bring you back to the gray? Not from a place of you're not allowed to do this, because you have full permission to do whatever is most aligned with you. As a generator, as a Leo, as a freaking Energizer bunny, I know that I will always move a little bit more. I know that I will always act a little bit more than some people who require more rest. And I'm okay with that because I know who I am. But I also know the importance of rest. I know the importance of mental rest, to where I can take a vacation like I just did and not think about work and be okay with that, knowing that my life is so important to live. So the one shift that changes everything, that has continued to change everything in my life, is seeking that gray area. Thinking about, how can I bring more balance? How can I honor the human experience inside this pathway? The pathway of my business especially. I have full permission now to where I can take full days off without guilt. And I can also work full days and not feel guilty. So this is what I'm inviting you into, is just to start thinking and becoming aware of, are you disciplined and committed, or are you putting yourself on the path to burnout? Are you leaned back and surrendering, or are you giving up and not trying? Because there is a middle ground, and your middle ground looks different than my middle ground. And that's why nobody can give you a method or a framework for what your long-term success looks like. I hope this has been helpful for you today. I hope that you'll consider what the gray area looks like for you. I hope that my failures and my experience can bring something to you today that will allow you to look at things differently. Where you will start considering the long-term results of your actions now, where you start prioritizing, and at the very least knowing that you can have bigger, more, be so committed and devoted to your goals while also being at peace and present and content with the life that you have now. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for listening. I'm so excited for this month. And man, I have some great things coming for you guys. If you are wanting to pop into my world, I have one private coaching space available. I have spaces in both of my masterminds. Freedom Collective Mastermind is a great spot for a beginning entrepreneur. Power United is the spot for my established entrepreneurs that are wanting to create that more peace and presence. Private mentorship, if you want to just go all the way to the top, I have that for you. But the best thing to do is just DM me and we can have a conversation about what that looks like specifically for you. I don't ever talk about super specific things. I'll share client stories and client wins. But one of the things that I've recognized that's so different about me is I don't share specifically, this is what's going to happen inside of this place, because it's so different for everyone. It truly is. But one thing that I know is that regardless of if it's in one session, a mastermind, private coaching, there's always clarity on where you're going and how you're going to get there. And there's always a building of your confidence because you are able to become somebody different. You're able to release the layers and the conditioning that you've been holding to be somebody that you're actually not. So there's a lot of power to be found here. And I'm so grateful to all the women who have trusted me in the last 11 years to work with me in some capacity. So if you want to have a conversation about what our work would look like together, I'm happy to do that. Send me a DM, and I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful Monday. Thank you for listening, and I will talk to you guys soon.